Today we're having a quick look at how to change whether you have the stitch count for your rows showing and in what format. So at the moment we have a slightly strange chart with one increase, so my stitch count changes from the start to the end of the chart. And at the moment I have the stitch count showing at the end of the first row and then on row 7 where the stitch count changes. And of course our row 8 is included in the condensed row 2 and all wrong side rows. So Stitch Mastery gives us the option to have no stitch count showing, the stitch count showing like this, so at the first row and then whenever there's a change in the overall stitch count, or at the end of every row. And to change that you want to come to the written style sheet. So I'm going to click on Tools. If you're using a Mac you'll need to click on Stitch Mastery over in the top left and then click on Preferences, and you may need to make sure that this little arrow is open and select Style Sheets, and we're looking for the written style sheet. Now I don't have a personalised written style sheet, so I'm going to click on the default written, which is the stitchmastery.com, and we'll click Edit and View at the moment. So because it's the default I can't change it just now. I will link to some videos below which explain how to set up your own version and change things. But in the written style sheet options you'll see that we have the option to include stitch count, none, all rows, or only if different from previous row or round. So that is where you change that option. And of course we've also mentioned there that my wrong side rows, which are all purl, have been condensed into one instruction, and you can turn that off in this same place. So you'll make your own version of the written style sheet and set everything to suit. I'm going to click cancel to come out of that. And you also have the option to change exactly how the stitch count is denoted. So for instance here we've got brackets 16 STS abbreviation. But if we come into the text templates style sheet, so I have got my own version, although it is called default. We click on Edit or View and we come to stitch count. And the one we're looking for here is stitch count for the total number of stitches. Here's our preview of what that looks like. And if we click on Edit, we could change this to say the full word stitches. Click on OK, and I'm going to click Apply and Close, and Apply and Close again. And you'll note that nothing has changed in the output text just yet, but what to do is come to Diagram, Edit Diagram Properties, and then open the Stitch Library and Text Templates tab. Select your user text template, so my Hannah K. Ross text template. I'm going to click Refresh Text and Key, although nothing should change in the key. And we'll click OK. And there you can see that the full word stitches has now been included in the output text. Hope that's helpful for you.